English-speaking team now instead of a Russian-speaking one, now that they've only got 2 Russian players left on the roster now, which, you know, it's kind of an interesting dynamic, and it changes up. Diamond, I know, is not the strongest English speaker, whereas Edward sort of is. I wonder if that actually even quiets their jungler somewhat.
And we heard in that feature there that it's all about that mid lane and jungle synergy. And this is actually going to be very big in this matchup coming in here, because Kikis and WTFox have been having a very controlled style, whereas Diamond has been very aggressive. Nick has 75% kill participation, the highest on his team. So they look to get Nick ahead in their victories, and that's usually off the back of Diamond, who has 71% right behind that, the 2 highest participants.
And we're going to see what kinds of performance those guys can put up here. First pick, Ryze comes in, most likely for Kuban there in the top lane. Lee Sin removed from Kikis, the Nami goes away from Zaytan, and the Nidalee banned from Smitty J. Meanwhile, Alistair, Yasuo, and Kha'Zix removed from Gambit Gaming. So Diamond does lose one of his carry junglers. And now SK Prime to make their first 2 choices.
Yeah, and since it's back into the whole Kha'Zix meta, Diamond, he's definitely loving that champion, so banning that out is extremely smart. And something that we also saw in that video was Kristalin was saying we're going to play early game oriented. SKP is probably one of the best early game challenger teams. Z's almost exclusively plays just carries that are going to be bullying you in the early game. Then they first pick a Ryze for themselves. That seems like a scaling team comp here. What if they mind gamed us in the video?
I know, who knows on this one though. Gambit definitely thinking they made the right choice here in the top lane, or might have just been that Kristalin thought they would play an aggressive bot lane down here. The interesting thing though is the early pick Fizz. We normally see him as more of a counter pick here, but only 1 assassin off the table in Yasuo. And SK Prime already wants Fizz there.
Yeah, the thing is that Zed is also available. Ziggs is also available for Nick. Ziggs is one of the champions that he had the most success with in carrying the games when he was on Gambit Gaming in the LCS. We'll have to see if they can make it back there today. Diamond hovering over the Elise. This is a champion that will definitely set him up for the early game and set him up for the ganks, but yeah, I do want to talk about this Fizz a little bit more, because WTFox is typically, and SK Gaming Prime as a whole, typically like to counterpick matchups, and that's why they like to dominate the lanes and how they get their advantages. WTFox is the guy who's, I'm going to play Akali into Yasuo every time. Smitty J is the guy who's going to play Riven. This is a team that really, really values counterpicks, but instead, they're going to pick up that Fizz very early on, and it's going to be into a Zed.
Wow, all right, Fizz for Zed opted in here.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so interesting things about this is, of course, you can Playful Trickster of the Death Mark and ignore the application of the Death Mark in the first place. Blocks a lot of damage there, so that'll be fun to watch for in the first place, but the fact that Nick wants to go into it is interesting, for sure. Yeah,
it's kind of the matchup that I think WTFox wanted from the get-go there. And here's the thing, too, is Z's, he's known for just playing Lucian, Ezreal, Corki. He was the one-trick pony Lucian player. When Lucian was disabled for a bit, he was going on Ezreal and he wasn't very effective. He picked up Corki, and now during the offseason, he's picked up Tristana and Kog'Maw, but he still isn't as effective as on those champions.
Right, just to give you the stats on that one, his last 20 games in the Challenger Series, exactly 1 game has been played on not Lucian, Corki, or Ezreal, and that was a Tristana game, his most recent one. So 5% of his games have been Tristana. That's basically doubled to 9.9-ish.
It's the second time we'll ever see him on Tristana in his entire summer split.
Well, Gambit have picked their own roles down the line. Ryze, Elise, Zed, Lucian, and Braum now down there for the bottom lane. Kristalin and Edward. The first time we are seeing these 2 together, and they've picked an incredibly strong duo lane.
And here's the thing, too, is Edward has always been playing with a very passive AD carry. He played with Genja. He also played with Hop for a bit. You know, when you hear those 2 guys, you think passivity. Kristalin is a very aggressive player. He was known for his Lucian every time we saw him in the Challenger Series back when he was on Reason Gaming with Trashy. They were just a very aggressive forward momentum team. I think ended up getting 4th place in the Challenger Series. So he's been picked up here, joining the roster in place of Genja today. And hopefully, he's going to be able to complement the aggression of Edward.
I just want to point out, that's not mid lane Fizz.
Nope. That is a jungle Fizz by Kikis.
So I didn't see that one coming.
Nope. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Kikis is the kind of guy who loves to do 2-on-2 skirmishes and counter people. Not counter jungle them, but counter their ganks. He has great game knowledge, but the Fizz jungle, I mean, we've seen him play Gragas jungle, but that's a fantastic, just WTFox moment right there.
So Kikis is going to be kicking it into high gear here with Fizz. It could... I want to wait for the last few seconds because it could be Jungle Mundo top Fizz. 20 seconds is the lockout time for making your swaps. That is not the case here. So, yeah, we saw Airwalks bring out Jungle Gragas to great effect yesterday on the Copenhagen Wolves. Now we're seeing Kikis pull out Jungle Fizz. We know Europe tends to be the first region to kind of pick up new things and be like, guys, this is really good. Then everyone else realizes it afterwards. So Jungle Fizz, solo queue, get ready. As the series gets underway, let's check out the vote over on lolesports.com. And right now, Gambit Gaming are leading with 63%.
Yeah, but we want to remind everyone to send us your picks over on Twitter with hashtag GMBWin or SKPWin. We're going to keep updating the poll throughout the games to see how you guys at home are calling the series. Freak and I are going to actually call the series today.
Yeah, it's true. You guys can try, but no matter how loud you tweet, you will not be picking up over the microphones. They might show up at the bottom of the screen, though. So, I mean, I guess you can be part of the show, actually.
Yeah.
Ha!
If your tweet is good enough, send them in. We'll be judging all day.
And then it'll be kind of tri-casting because you guys will be part of the show.
Yeah, and actually, that is actually kind of true because we feed off of that.
Ha!
Yeah, Crepo got a little bit of tri-casting in the other day with his tweet.
Exactly, and the analyst desk afterwards can also be fun. Of course, the LCS big plays, also part of the show. So here we go, guys. Gambit Gaming looking to make their way back into the season. A new AD carry now in Chrisland, hoping this will be the roster that sends them upward toward greatness.
Yeah, hoping he's the aggression in that bot lane because they pretty much ignore their top lane. Kuban is one of the lowest kill participations in the EU LCS. I think he's about number 4 lowest. But most top laners are up there. The big thing is that Nick has 75% kill participation on his team. Higher than his support, higher than his jungler. He's looking for the solo kills. Diamond sets him up, then he roams bottom. That's the typical MO for how they execute their victories. Granted, the victories have been pretty scarce.
Yeah, but we'll see here. Gambit Gaming right now just playing the battle lines, whereas SK Prime are all grouped up right in front of the red buff. What will this invade look like? Diamond can easily send a Spiderling over. He'll spot SKP by doing this. And he is not getting seen for a hook. He says, hey, all of SKP are right there on that brush.
Sees all their items.
True.
The jig is up.
Yeah, the cool thing about that is even if you can't immediately count which guys you see, you press tab and you say, whose items have we seen? And you know how many people are there. If you didn't know, pro tip.
Look at that. They actually got a whole bunch of wards across on the right side into SKP's jungle.
Yeah.
So they know which buff he's going to start on. They're going to have vision of that blue for just a little bit longer. But they're also... Ooh, this ward over here.
Yeah. It'll see their invade. There's 20 seconds left right now on that ward. Each chunk is 20 seconds, so you can kind of time that.
Diamond's not even starting on that side, though. So they're going to get a lot of information here for Gambit Gaming, and SKP are going to go for a risky invade. That'll most likely result in either a blue swap and a lane swap here, actually. Exactly.
It's the kind of standard lane swap invade path where you pressure, the enemy buff on the side of the map you control. It's a very easy buff to contest. You have 4 people there. It's very low risk. And they just have the Orianna hold mid, so that's going to be safe there. Gambit Gaming will grab the blue buff on the eastern side of the map now next with Diamond and Kuban. That'll be fine.
And at the same time, Kuban immediately started walking past the mid lane. He got to the red buff a little early, hit stop, because he didn't want to get experience from it. So Diamond ended up getting that for himself. So he's the level 2 coming out here.
Definitely the right choice. You can share the smaller pieces, just as long as you get solo XP on the big one. You're generally going to be fine. See what else they do here. Nick versus WattDaFox in the mid lane. Early push from the Orianna. Not too surprising, though. Has missed 2 CS in the wave, but that's not a big deal. And we also have both duo lanes staying as a 2-man group, which we don't see that often, actually.
So I want to do a little theory crafting here. There's going to be a 3-minute dragon coming out after the double buffs to Diamond. They have to jump back and forth between it, and SKP haven't really responded at all. They're still doing their red buff because they cleared a raid camp before going to it. But the theory crafting I wanted to do here as this dragon is being juggled back and forth is the Jungle Fizz. His clear is decent because you max his E first, but at the same time, he's more of a dueler.
Yeah.
You want to dodge skill shots. He can also get over walls. So if you go for an invade and it gets a little botched, you're safe.
True.
Also at the same time, he has multiple gap closers. We'll have to see what ends up happening here. And the fact that they also lane swap means that it's going to be a little delayed before his first gank.
One thing, though, I think that does help is that they did lane swap. I don't think Fizz's early clears are that good. I could be wrong, right?
No, it's
Maybe
not
it's
good.
better than I expected. But the fact that he has a Dr. Mundo running around helping him, and yet Kikis got all the XP, he's level 3 while Smitty's level 1, means that Kikis is going to start being able to kick into a little bit faster gear. Not on purpose, that one. And...
I can't wait to call them now. Oh, that one wasn't purposeful. But yeah, the fact that the Fizz isn't going to get invaded, Diamond's not going to be pressuring him for a while. Kikis is going to be pretty safe right now. for the time being. Kuban hanging off on the wings. Diamond's actually going to wrap around as well, so it'll be a 4-on-1. But if Kikis shows up, it's a 4-on-2. And this ward right here is going to reveal them.
All right,
Smitty's going to have to book it.
Has to flash from Edward's Q, and Kikis has to be pretty afraid. Kuban could rune prison this one off of flash, doesn't choose to. And out he goes. So Smitty loses the flash, and he loses the minions under the turret. Good move by Gambit.
Yep, Diamond with the pressure. What Diamond loves to do is he loves to either gank mid or go find the enemy jungler. And right there, he actually made a play for the bot lane, which is something we haven't typically seen here. But there's all this pressure that they have from Chrysalin shoving this wave up against the Mundo. Granted, SKP, they do have the Tristana getting the free farm right now.
Yeah, and what's interesting is SKP are playing a pretty different style from many other teams with lane swaps. They're going for aggressive turret pressure. I guess both teams are, but they're leaving the support into the duo lane. They're pushing the lanes down as opposed to freezing. Kuban is only level 2 though, all that said, but both outer turrets in top and bottom are pretty close to dying. Yeah,
what you'll end up seeing usually is that the support will go roam. Zaitan is staying up there trying to get turret damage off and sharing his relic shield. Which means that he's not causing pressure around the lanes. This is basically an isolated mid lane here in this matchup.
Right.
And Nick did start with the Doran shield here so that he could survive this matchup as well.
He's doing okay. He's down 4 CS. He uses potion, but not the end of the world there.
Yeah, only being down 4 CS is pretty good against an Orianna.
Not the easiest of matchups. So What the Fox just kind of going as slowly as he can in this lane. Diamond was waiting in the wings, but realized that there was no further pressure coming in. So What the Fox playing safely enough to not get ganked, despite limited ward coverage.
Wow. So Kikis is, I think he's going for Elder Lizard.
Huh, interesting. Lizard Fizz. So
Lizard Fizz?
I think
Fizzard.
I think it might be sort of Evelyn-esque, where you kind of build some early AD just for the auto attacks, but you build maybe tanky afterwards. That seems strange to me, but
tanky Fizz?
I don't know. Like, I mean, right? He's going Lizard Elder in the first place. You would expect AP if he's going to burst people.
What's funny is somebody's going to be like, "This is a standard Fizz build."
Yeah.
Like, oh god.
I remember when. Oh, hold on. Edward taking some damage. All right, so he's actually duoing with Kuban. They're trying to keep Kuban afloat now by Gambit's lane choice. But SKP still want this turret to go down, and I think with the level lead, they'll still get this as long as Diamond doesn't interfere.
And the thing is, these junglers haven't had much pressure on the map. Diamond did make a call to go for that dragon, so that's what's keeping Gambit in that 700 gold lead. But overall, still no action in this lane swap here. Both teams playing it pretty well, too. Nobody's really given up too much here. No, just this turret damage.
You think Edward just postures to kind of make Z's respect the Q, and he immediately has to turn back, hit Edward instead of the turret, and so it buys some time.
This does seem like a time bomb up top, though. There is a timeline on this where they will eventually get this turret. They're poking them down. Something needs to happen up here, or else eventually SKP will just take this turret.
Might be soon. They're trying one more time. Looks like they're...
The roam.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
they're going.
This is really well timed. They can kill them under the turret when it dies.
They're going for the blue buff, trying to pass it off. Actually, the smite here for Kikis.
Just wanted to make sure they got it, I think.
Ah. And there is actually going to be no wraparound on this either.
Huh, I'm actually surprised by that. I think What the Fox being level 6, and especially with Playful Trickster for turret aggro swapping, they definitely could have died.
Here's the thing, too, is Edward just took a stroll towards that blue buff as well.
And he's like, all right, we're going to clear that out. They realized it got taken. That's all fine and good. But the point I was trying to get to about Fizz, when we very first saw the champion get released, I remember St. Vicious was jungling it, and it was like a wit's end sort of tanky bruiser build. And that's what he was trying out before people realized how good Lichbane Fizz was mid. So, I mean, like the very original jungle Fizz was like Bruiser Fizz.
The original jungle Fizz.
For what it's, I mean, years ago, right?
I don't know if there was ever an original jungle Fizz. That just sounds odd.
I mean, hey, original jungle Lulu. That's how you know.
Anyway, I want to see if he goes with the Elder Fizzard build here. And then what he builds after that, because this is extremely interesting to me, because the theory crafting behind it is he has gap closers, he has a slow, he has ways to avoid damage, and is very good 2-on-2 skirmish champion. And if he builds some AD, his skirmish is actually even better, because his auto attacks will be more potent. There we go.
Well, I think also this build is really fitting facing against Gambit, because this is a team that used to build Death Cap on Renekton, and Fizz is a mage champion. He's a lizard wizard.
The lizard fizzard. The wizard fizzard? Oh god.
Lizard wizard.
The lizard fizzard wizard.
No, we're done. You've gone too far.
Has science gone too far?
Gosh. By the way, not maxing E, he's maxing W first.
Yeah, he is. He's going for the auto attack.
It is about the bruiser auto attack focus. It's not the burst at all. It's an entirely different build. It makes his clear still fairly slow. You're seeing how long it takes him to clear these camps down, but he will be an auto attack uptime focused jungler. 40 CS so far is staying above Diamond, and it actually is out leveling Diamond as well. So I can't talk too much smack on his jungle clears because so far he's out scaling the Elise.
I want to know what his runes and masteries are.
I think he had attack speed marks.
Yeah, I'm looking at that because he's got 0.91. So I think he's running some attack speed.
It could be Marks and Quince. Or like AD Marks AS Quince.
Regardless, I want to see how this ends up performing in skirmishes. Because they might just go straight to team fights here, because this next dragon is being contested. He's backed, both AD carries, sitting on BF swords.
Alright, well. Hut! Almost wait a little long there. Kick us though, red buff. Flash Shark! Oh, what a nice repel. Gets away from What the Fox. TP comes in. There's a good stun. There's a death mark there as well. More fight coming in there. This could be risky for Nick. He predicts the jump back with the shockwave. First blood comes into red buff. Kickus. Fizz going in hard. Has to walk away from Kuban. That kill will go to Smitty J, and Kickus just on the retreat. 2-for-1 SK Prime. And look at that.
What just happened? Fizz.
Fizz happened, man. Fizz. The dragon is up.
That guy means business. He's going straight for this dragon now. The rest of the team from Gambit Gaming off on the side. It is a 3-on-4. Smitty doing some zone control. That's
fine. He's just taking damage. Doesn't care too much. Dragon goes over to jungle Fizz from Kickus. And SK Prime are up 2,000 gold over Gambit Gaming.
That paid off hugely there. The very aggressive play by Kickus. He forced that more than you could possibly think of forcing that. The flash, the Q, and the shark. Diamond, he did a good job of getting away from that, but then the death mark came in. Nick, here's the thing, he threw it back to where the shadow was and got the shockwave off. It cost his life, but he takes out Nick on that Zed, and then Smitty J showing up perfectly. Meanwhile, the AD carries. Chrisland completely zoned out by Zaitan. Not able to contribute to that fight. And then the dragon falling into SKP's hands, exactly what they wanted. So now they have a 1,400 gold advantage now because they have that top turret. And now they lane swap it back. Diamond sitting down bottom, waiting for a play. Is this going to be it?
Zaitan knocked him into the air. He's going to get stunned up as well. Diamond does not hit the cocoon, but it's going to be enough anyway. Diamond gets the kill. Gambit back to 2-2, but they are still down 1,000.
They might be able to pressure this bottom lane. Kickus is on the top side of the jungle right now. If they clear this out, they'll get some turret damage for themselves, but they need to return a turret to equalize the gold at this point in the game.
Well, we're going to see bot lane is under fire. Chrisland's got plenty of attack damage for himself. He's done well so far. Up 20 CS over what Z's has. This turret can be falling very quickly there.
Look at that zone. They're just getting him completely out.
It's very smart.
And that's going to give time for Kickus to show up. Diamond just used all of his abilities.
Now Z's wants in. He's going to jump towards hard. Shark hits him as well. That is now an in the air Braum. Exhaust goes on towards Kickus. Lantern comes out. Zaitan going to dodge away from the Q, and looks like no more fights here. Ulti for Exhaust.
I just see this Fizz, and I'm just like, don't try this at home, kids.
No, hey, it's working.
The AD Fizz, 115 AD. Looks like he's going to go for, might be Sheen next.
Yeah, seems to be the build. Interesting. Iceborne Gauntlet, maybe, or is it really just Tech could be Trinity Force because he's not really investing in ability power. Kickus has 28 AP, so he does have, I'm guessing that's AP Quince then. Attack speed marks. He has CDR per level blues, by the way. His CDR is going up with level. Very interesting mix. I'm going to try to get more information for that one so you guys can emulate this awesome Fizz play because so far so good. But yeah, there is ability power on that kit. And now maxing E second, so max W, max E. And yeah, he just kind of plays aggressively. It's like every Shark he goes in and tries to force a kill. The ulti's almost back up, 3/4 back from cooldown.
That Shark has been on cooldown. Every time it's up, he will throw it out. And now they're going to contest this blue. Wattfuck doesn't have Shockwave just yet.
Lever misses from Smitty J. Diamond going to come in here and do actually take a lot of damage from Smitty, but there goes Wattfuck's taking damage in from the Zed. This could be enough with the Death Mark. Does not quite take him down, but Smitty solos Diamond to the top side, And out goes Orianna. Blue buff now controlled by SK Prime.
WattFox will have his Shockwave back up shortly. He used his exhaust on Nick because Nick used Deathmark. So there's a lot of things that haven't been used yet, but also things that have. And they're just going to smite it and walk away from this. Another victory there at the blue buff for SKP.
Look at that. Bottom turret's going to be going down. Kristlin will share the experience. Edward on the wrong side of the map. Dodges the hook, though. Good job there. Slows down Zaitan. He's going to peace out.
Kristlin, he's going to get that bottom turret. He's immediately going to clear this wave out with the culling and push it to that next turret. Try to deny some experience. Try to pull some pressure that has been all over the map from SKP at this point.
Well, getting that kill, though, puts the gold back within 700 here. So good stuff for Kristlin. So far, making a decent difference there. Highest CS in the game. Only turret kill in the game, or sorry, for his team. That's worked so far for Gambit.
I still want to talk more about this Fizz, and I want to talk about Kikis in general. Because Kikis is the guy that came on the team, completely changed the roster, but he's by no means an orthodox jungler. He was playing J4 forever when nobody else was playing it. Like that, you know, he's always been a standard pick, but Kikis' style on top of all of that is very skirmish-based. Can I win the 2-on-2? He isn't the most active jungler in terms of like he's going to force things. He's the take Trashy and do the opposite of what Trashy does, but still have ganks happen. Kikis is basically Trashy's worst nightmare. Trashy will force something, he will flash in, he will go after you. Kikis is always sitting there saying, I know the enemy jungler is going to be here. And then he counters it. And so far, he's putting pressure on Diamond. He's taking his buffs, he's getting his team rallied up because he is the shot caller of this SKP squad that ended up not being on the radar, picking up one guy, and then changing themselves completely around. And Gambit, grasping at straws, changing so much. Can Kristlin step up this game? He does have a 20 CS advantage over Z's, but he hasn't been able to push that early game Lucian just yet. He does have his IE power spike, but they haven't grouped up and pushed it at all before Tristana has hers.
Yeah, this has got to be a bit of a risk here for SK Prime. 45 seconds still till Dragon comes up, but can they even get their items in? 150 gold until, or sorry, 220 gold roughly until Z's can complete his eye edge. So that's not the easiest mark to hit in 30 seconds, plus the recall, plus getting back there. And I don't know if that's going to be something that Gambit even tries to push then. But Spirit Visage and a Giant Spell are done for SmittyJ. He's actually not going to be easily killed by this Lucian of Kristlin, so maybe he could just buy time and make it work regardless. Diamond looking to set this one up. Gambit now much bigger on the Twitter vote.
Yeah, 81% in favor. A lot of fans, a lot of faith in Gambit. Despite being a tiny bit down, it's been a back and forth. This next Dragon will decide who takes this lead. I just realized that Diamond, the innovator, is being innovated on right now.
That's true. It's happening right now. And look at this. SK Prime are going to be there for Dragon. They started it up already. No pink wards for them, almost at all. They're not really removing vision, but they're at least seeing the entrances of Gambit. Edward on the top side. There's the culling in as well. Good damage from Kristlin. Hits every single bullet. Knockup going to catch Zaitan. The box comes down. Fight has begun. In comes Kikis. Looks for Edward with the shark on. Doesn't go down. Shockwave only gets one as well. Edward does go down. WattFox jumped on by Nick. He will trade his life, but it's a 2-for-1 so far. SK Prime are ahead. 2-for-2, but they found Nick. He flashes away. Can he get out though? Looks like yes. They will trade lives. Nick actually still up there. Zaitan, one auto attack gets it, but Kuban to clean up that fight. It's going to be a 4-for-4 here. One more spell, and now the top laner saying, hey, what's up? And goodbye.
Yep. Ships passing in the night. Gentlemen's salute. Walk by each other. 4-on-4 there. The TP came in. A lot of abilities just hitting one person here, and a lot of it was blown on supports. They just go back and forth. There's the Shark hitting a support. There's the Shockwave hitting a support. And then this fight in the bottom lane just goes back and forth. They trade 80 carries. Diamond completely chases him out. And then the top laner, SmittyJ, makes it his mission to go track down Diamond and kill him. And off on the side here, it's like we have to protect Nick. And then one support still standing after all the abilities thrown at him. Really, that fight was just a lot of ultimates being blown on one person. And it was the support. I think 3 ultimates, only hit 1 person. Yeah, it was support there total.
But Smitty J again was massive. Smite battle. Oh, goes to Kikis. Diamond misses that one. In comes the Shockwave, gets on to 2. The Shark as well. They've got the kills. But one's been traded back by Krislin. Can he do much more? 2 for 1 so far, going well for SK Prime. There's the distance. They're going to look for Diamond. He's going to land the Q. Does not hit the cleaver, but Diamond's got nowhere to go. Repels up, goes back to WattFox. Not going to be enough for him. 3 for 1 plus Dragon SK Prime.
Good shockwave there by WattFox to pick up 2 members. They get the Dragon for themselves. There was no smite even from Diamond. He didn't get it off. It was just Kikis smiting, and it got picked up by an auto attack there. They're going to go straight for this bottom turret too. And now Gambit, they're going to have to get themselves together because they're falling behind against an Orianna, a Tristana, a Mundo, and I hate to say it, but it's a Jungle Fizz too. And it is going to be Trinity Force.
Boom. Got him. Nick. All right, he's got a blue buff for himself. He's done fairly well individually. Krislin, he's trying to scale up him. He's got the Zeal now down as well. I'm just trying to watch the new member to see how he's going.
Yeah, Diamond doesn't end up getting his smite off here. Here's the thing, is they are so focused on this right side that WattFox comes in, gets a 2-man shockwave after this whole ordeal over the Dragon that Diamond doesn't even get anything out of it, except he picks up the support. They chase him out. There's so many gap closers here on such a low cooldown for Kikis that he's able to chase down almost any member on Gambit Gaming.
And it's working so well for him as well. Like, this is going nicely for SK Prime, and even Z's, who's down in CS, is actually now ahead in items over Krislin there, has the extra Avarice Blade on himself. So everyone's kind of starting to outscale the opposition. There's a Zhonya's Hourglass now done as well for WattFox, so I don't know what Gambit has left in store to make this work outside of hoping Ryze carries.
And Nick is going to have to blow people up, but WattFox is getting to that point where he's got the Zhonya's Hourglass.
Yep.
Kikis can go ahead and just playful Trickster it. There's so many things here that are going to be very annoying for Nick on the Zed pick. And it's not even into what we thought it was with just the Fizz mid.
Well, the question is, though, can he win duels? Anytime we see a Zed, it does come down to split pushing and doing what he can for this. Now, the difficult thing is that Smitty J is ahead, but does not have a ton of armor just yet. Maybe that can work for him. Zed can fight Mundo. Mid lane turret's going to go down. SK Prime still pushing the lead here. 4,000 gold up. And we're seeing them with a pretty good teamfight composition, realistically. Mundo's been doing great, 3-0-1-4. The Shockwaves have been on point. Sharks have been on point. Gambit for retreat. Diamond, wow, heavily isolated. And he's not quite in range of that Wolf. That's bad for him. His flash is on cooldown. He is going to drop. Z's gets the kill. Hook's not quite going to land, but SKP can now push in for the mid-tier 2.
Diamond out of position. Again, the team just not completely with him, and this is part of the issue you get when you keep swapping members around. Not everybody's going to be on the same page, and he's completely caught out there.
Diamond has half the team's deaths, though. Like, he's really not having a good time this game. And this is the original best jungler in Europe, like, undisputed. And just like the rest of Gambit, it's been getting worse for these guys over the last couple of years.
Kikis.
Mid-tier, top tier 2 goes down, knock up on a Kuban, they go for this one. Kikis immediately drops those shots on the 3. Can they win the fight anyway? Edward will go down. 1 for 1 so far. Nick on the retreat. WattFox pops the Zhonya's to stay alive. And this is Z's just killing everybody. Runs away. And finally, Smitty goes down, though. Couple kills picked up back. 3 for 3. Now it's Z's. 1 hit. Krislin, can he get it? Nice dissonance, though. And in comes WattFox. Finds the kill. Now Diamond overextends. Does not get the kill. That is the ace for SK Prime.
Z's gets 4 kills there on Tristana. He is 8-1-3. He's getting ready to carry this game for his team. They got themselves a turret, and they won the team fight off the back of it with great positioning back and forth. Kikis, he gets obliterated here, but SKP, they just don't give a damn. They're honey badgering this. Look at this. Right there, 3-man shockwave to set them up. Nick ends up going back to his shadow, gets exhausted. WattFox baited him back to it. And now Z's is standing there just being a turret while Smitty J, the Mundo, is being focused down, and they are at the same point. Krislin tries to close this distance, but oh my god, just the back and forth there from SKP with their target prioritization, making Gambit Gaming test their shot calling, and you talked about it. Here's the thing. They're speaking English now.
Yeah.
Is that a problem when you have to keep swapping targets all the time? I mean, you call it the champion name, that's fine. But when you have to do more finer things in the game with your shot calling, then midst of a team fight.
Yeah.
That gets very cluttered very quickly.
And Diamond is just not having a good game so far. 2, 6, and 5 on Elise. 24 minutes into the game, SK Prime now. They're up 8K in this one. The jungle Fizz 1, 2, and 7. Lizard Elder Triforce the build so far, so it's kind of like AD Fizz with some ability power quints. It's an interesting build. I want to know more about it. I want to talk to him after about it as well.
Well, I want to hear the two junglers on the desk talk about Jungle Fizz, see what Dominate have to say about that one eventually.
What have they ever played around with that one before?
Oh,
what's going on with that one?
I'm actually really interested to see if they have played around with that before, because I've never done that before as a jungler.
Nope.
Also, another thing about that pick is they picked it so early, right? We were sitting here going, they just picked their mid laner for What the Fox.
Yeah.
That could have been a masterful bait.
It was. I mean, that was the goal. That was definitely the goal. Like there's no reason you do that early except to like try to mess with your opponent and say, oh, here's this matchup you're going to play, right? Even though like Fizz is good against Zed from our knowledge in this one, but either way, took it off the table, actually made it a jungler there. All kinds of interesting in this one. And the rest of the team has just kind of picked up around it. Smitty J the entire time has done great, right? He is 3, 1, and 9 there. His one death was in that sort of last team fight a second ago. But he like single-handedly won the prior Dragon fight. Like he was the reason that SKP went 4 for 4 and then came back and has controlled it one more time. So Smitty, I think, a very big force in this game, even though we're not seeing him often. He's been big when he shows up. And then it's just a setup for this Tristana to get cleanup kills. Like 8, 1, and 3 is just because he's there in the fights.
Another person I actually want to talk about is What the Fox. We haven't talked about him too much because there was just a mid lane one-on-one for a long time because the lane swaps. He's 3, 2, and 11. Highest kill participation on his team. 14 out of the 16 kills he's been involved in. Highest CS in the game at the same time as Orianna. He shows up to these fights. His shockwaves have been a little game-changing. The ones where he doesn't hit a support only, and he hits 3 people, 2 people, completely changes the flow of the fight, especially when, at the start, your jungler gets picked off. So a lot of credit to him. I think What the Fox is one of the best European Challenger Series mid laners out there. He gets a ton of respect. Remember when he took down Alex, people were like, whoa, this guy means business, and his Syndra is something that always has to be banned out and thought about in Champ Select.
It's true. He actually is an incredible player, and it's fun watching the upstart players. I mean, we saw this with Gambit's roster itself. Like, it's a bunch of Challenger players who we had seen in the Challenger Series and said, okay, their team didn't make it, but the players were good, and they get picked up onto an LCS team. Well, SKP could be an LCS team themselves, of course. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We're having a lot of great standout performances by really good individual contributors.
Yeah, another thing about What the Fox, he's played 8 different champions in 10 games. The thing is, you usually have to pay tribute to his Syndra and ban it out. But at the same time, he has so much in his arsenal. He's a deadly mid laner. You have to think about what strategy do I not want to play against, and then you still give him a comfort champion.
Exactly. He's got a very large bet. He's comfortable almost no matter where he goes.
Yeah, and I think also another thing about him is when you play against that, you really think, man, this guy is such a linchpin on the team, and then the team thinks, we have this guy with such a deep champion pool, we can dictate picks and bans around him and what team comp we want, because he can play everything.
Look at that. An immediate dragon pick up there. SK Prime just kind of assumed map control at this point. It wasn't even contested. We saw Gambit clear a ward off of Baron, but just give it away.
Well, Gambit focused all their wards on the left side of the map, on the Baron side of the map, where SKP are still prioritizing that dragon control.
And they're getting a bigger gold lead because of it. They're now within about 9,000. This number keeps growing over time. SKP are very far ahead. Most of the Bloodthirster is now done as well for Z's. He's just massive.
When he hits that 3-item spike, he doesn't really have to buy the Last Whisper anytime soon because there isn't any threat of armor on the side of Gambit Gaming just yet.
Yeah, it's actually really convenient. I think you would still go for this build even if you were building armor.
You would go for 3rd item Bloodthirster, but look at this. Kickus.
No, but I mean, yeah, it's more to the point that, yeah, there's no one to tank the damage.
Yeah.
Z's just got a bunch of items out of nowhere, or even more items just recently from the kills, and no one is prepared to deal with this. Kuban can't carry because he's going to die so darn fast. You got a Spectre's Cowl for his tank item, which means you're still going to get crushed by this Tristana. More ward control. SKP just setting up Baron. They have missed 1 ward, though, near that pit.
Oh, and there's Gambit going for the inside track for that turret.
Thing is, they can't stay
rush
that though. They get killed too easily. Smitty flashes in. They go for What the Fox. A lot of damage on the Orianna. He's gonna have to pop the Zonius. Barely in time, but the kill still goes on towards Z's. Nick made that happen. What the Fox forced out, and Diamond's on the chase. They picked up one back with Kickus, but Diamond trades back on the mid laner. Kickus still trying to do what he can. Smitty as well. Flashes in. Can they pick up this one onto Diamond? So far, 2 for 2. Double kill for the Fizz, and they go right for Baron.
They ended up killing the jungler, so there's no smite available, but Gambit have complete knowledge that this is happening right now. And here's the thing, this DPS is actually pretty decent on this Baron. They don't have their Tristana or their main damage dealer in mid lane, but they still have Viz with percent HP missing damage, and they have this Mundo for persistent damage. It's not going to get chunked down, but it's still on its way.
Well, they are trying, and in comes Edward hooked in. Shark comes out as well. They try to kite back to have Baron help, and they do. Kickus gets his 3rd kill. Smitty now in the front line.
Oh, Kickus
will go down, but they trade one back. Zaitan now hooks up Nick, but it's going to be the kill picked up for Nick. That is a 2 for 2 battle, and now can the Zed outplay? Looks like not. Burning Agony takes the last kill. 5 for 4 overall SKP.
They do stop the Baron, though, and I don't know if they're going to start it back up. Instead, Z's going to go straight for this red buff. It's the much smarter move here, and then establish dominance again. So SKP get a huge spike in gold there. Nick, he makes the right move here. He blows Z's up, completely focuses him down 100 to 0 very quickly. Flashes, actually. Oh, okay. So he flashes when it looked like he got buster shotted.
No, he used his W.
Did he? He went straight back to it. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, no, he still has his flash available. He used his W at the same time he got buster shot, so he didn't go anywhere.
He went to a wall, which doesn't even stun you. And then he just like hit him again. That was exactly perfect.
And still retained his flash for later on in the play.
Yeah, Z's the one who'd flash to try to get away. He's like, okay, I need to flash like a buster shot you, and he's like, Shadow, get dunked. And,
yeah, I saw a flash go off. I was like, yeah, I'm not crazy, right?
No.
And I looked down and he still had it.
Nick massively outplayed that fight. It was beautiful.
Able to blow up Z's. They need more like that to happen, or else SKP are going to start running away with the game here. They have Baron control. Gambit Gaming, it's very hard to face check this when you have 10,000 gold in favor of the enemy team. They do get themselves a scrying orb on Crystalline so that they can use that. He already used it just now. But still, SKP playing this right. They have a lead, they're looking for picks, and they're saying, if you don't face check this, we're going to get Baron. So they're using it as a tool to get more kills, and then eventually a Baron here.
The SK Prime now up 9.3 thousand, 9.5, something like that. And the ward coverage, pretty good for these guys. You can see how the roots in. They don't quite darken out everything. There's that one ward making them sad. They know about it, though. It was pinged. And the sweeper's going to go up in just 1 or 2 seconds now for the jungle and mid laner. SK Prime trying to bait. There's the sweep. All right, and they've built darkness once again on the Baron pit.
And he walks towards it, walks away. And he's Miss Cindy J standing on a ward, and they get it. It's ward clearing time, and they start it actually while still in vision.
Well, they are going to spot it out here, but can they kill it in time regardless?
It's
goes
going down
so incredibly fast. Baron for SK Prime, and now the Shark catches Kuban. That is not good for the Rise top laner. In comes the Death Spark, though. Can they do enough for that one? Nick will fall, and Kika stays alive anyway. The shield definitely helping there from Zaitan, but now the chase. Diamond, half health. Cocoon's up on Z's, but they could chase down anyway. It's a 5v3 on the map with Baron buff.
Oh, Crystalline pulled him away.
Oh my god, he just trolled Diamond, but he's got a Banshee go. He's going to be okay. And in they go now. Smitty can easily face take this turret. This should be the inhibitor at least taken down.
Such a great play there by SKP to rush the Baron down and then rush down this mid lane after just getting a couple kills. And Smitty J is going to tank this turret up again, bustling down the base of Gambit Gaming.
Down to 1/3 health. Rise respawns just now. Does not play home guard boots. Then they go for inhibitor number 2. The Baron buff still on. Now Nick is back up. It's a 5-on-5. In goes Diamond. They ruin Prison Smitty J. The battle has begun. He's getting repeatedly slowed down. Z's now kind of in the front lines. Has to back up. And SKP are going to get out nice and clean. 2 kills, Baron, and 2 inhibitors picked up for SK Prime.
And SKP have everything going for them right now. 14,000 gold advantage. That blue buff still falling into their hands. And now Gambit Gaming, it's really hard to get back into this game. They need more picks onto Z's with Nick. And then Nick needs to get back into the fight. They need to get some armor on them. They have to avoid Block the Fox's damage. It's so hard to do. They have so many grueling tasks to complete at the same time. that juggling them is going to be nigh impossible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they make their way in with right now. They're outskilled at every position. The split push from Nick just doesn't seem to be doing very much for them, and he does have the ability to target Z's here, but so far Trish has played far enough back to not really get picked off by Nick. Cocoon, though, is going to hit Zaitan. Suddenly, that will be a pick, and Gambit can maybe use it to catch back in.
And Dragon is up. If they decide to try and make a play for it, they have the numbers advantage, but they don't have the gold advantage. Not even close. Their base is getting pressured, too. They have to send people back to deal with this. 2 inhibitors down. It's going to be another Dragon for SKP.
Very quickly is going to be the case, and it's just waves being held, a little bit of gold trickling in for Gambit, but so much more when you pick up a Dragon there for SK Prime. Now, will this be the push? They've got Baron for a few more seconds, I believe. And this could be the 3rd inhibitor, and maybe the next is going down for SK Prime.
WTF is almost full build, almost max level here in this game. He's been farming so well for himself. Such high kill participation on that Orianna in mid lane.
There we go, turret goes down.
Shockwaves are going to hurt so much, regardless of who they hit. Even if it hits one person at this point, it's going to do its job.
Yeah, even on Kuban a lot.
Everybody's
a whole bunch of health. Edward goes to the ulti, he catches WTF, but they don't go in. That is an ulti lost for nothing here.
It is a 4-on-5 because they don't have Zaitan just yet, but it is the support. You're not going to be missing out on a lot of damage. Z's
wants in, they stun, they go in for Z's, who tries to kite away. Can he get away properly, though? Giant deathmark pop. He does out-duel Diamond, though, and in goes the kill onto Kristen all the same. They pick up Nick as well. 3 kills. That's going to be 4 with Kuban. Only Kickass now chasing onto Edward. Double kill for the jungle. Fizz and Ace, and game 1's going to go to SK Prime.
Knocking down these Nexus turrets. WTF almost dropped there, but he still stays alive. Such a good controlled game by SKP.
All right, well, smiles, nods. SKP knows they're 1/3 of the way into joining the LCS. They went and fought through a very tough challenger season. Short run in Summer 1, a very long run into the finals in Summer 2. These guys looking much better over time. You said Kickass joined the roster, revitalized them. I agree. They look great. The Jungle Fizz looked even better. SKP, man.
Jungle Fizz.